what does symbolism and movement have to do with consciousness? Well, that's something that I really wanted to know. And, over the years, I incorporate more and more as I understand more and more into what I'm doing, what I actually utilize. And so one of the things I noticed was, I had a lot of trauma, period. And I even had physical traumas. Like I said, I had a cane, and the cane, there was a voice when I was walking with the cane that told me, why don't I spin the cane? And I was also seeing this symbol that was a figure 8. And also I was seeing the symbol finite. Like, finite as in one language, it means an ending. But it actually, when you look at the decision making, like zeros and ones, it appears and disappears repetitively depending on choices. So it's more like you can get with this and you can get with that. Anyway, it led me into this big thing. So I found this years ago. And I also found Dan Winter's.
Hello, I'm Dr. Deborah Stenbeck. I'm the psychologist who created Infinity Walk back in the mid-1980s. Infinity Walk method is a therapeutic process that's used in healthcare and education to teach children and adults how to build or regain essential foundation skills. A non-clinical version of Infinity Walk can be successfully facilitated by trained teachers, parents, and other caregivers. For instance, this preschooler is experienced in playing a learning game version of Infinity Walk. Here she's infinity walking in a figure 8 pattern while attending to and interacting with an adult who's
Okay, so we got that part. So that shows you how the symbol, the figure 8 pattern, is used to help people improve their cognitive abilities. Okay, so we're just going to go here, and Dr. Stenbeck's got different devices that you can actually buy that are being utilized to help people with what I really wanted to look at. Like I said, I want the stuff, you know what I'm saying? I want the real stuff. So here we go. Today's Infinity Walk is used in preschools and nursing homes alike, and has both self-help and clinical versions, as well as Infinity Riding version. Infinity Walk is used by clinicians in occupational therapy, physical therapy, developmental optometry, and visual therapy, speech therapy, and neural rehabilitation. My invention of Infinity Walk about rail system was a response to a need. Educators all over the world have brought Infinity Walk to their schools. Infinity Walk is time cost effective, is easily assimilated into clinical and educational programs, and can be seamlessly implemented across language and cultures. I welcome your feedback and success stories. Send them. Okay. I haven't done that yet. I haven't sent her my success story. I think I did text something asking about what the price range was, something like that, for this system here. But so I pressed on the brain trauma, okay, because I had a post-traumatic brain injury, and I had a problem with, mind control programming and forgetting things when I got upset, like literally forgetting what I was arguing about or defending myself against. So it was wild. There was a lot of repairing to do for me to remember things, even to go to college, because I took psychology, acting, and dancing. Anyway, so Infinity Walkabout at Northeast Center for Special Care. Ann Becker, CEO of Northeast Center, sees the Infinity Walkabout and related Infinity Walk methods as cutting edge. The Infinity Walk is another way that the state-of-the-art specialty rehabilitation program of the Northeast Center for Special Care use innovative approaches to therapy and rehabilitation and recovery of our resident neighbors with traumatic brain injury. Okay? Excerpts from Northeast Center for Specialized Care website. They have the whole setup with the rails and everything. Okay? When staff at Northeast Center for Special Care, a cutting-edge traumatic brain injury rehabilitation center, faculty located in upstate New York, learned of the new Infinity Walkabout, they immediately saw the possible benefits for rehabilitation of individuals with traumatic brain injury. Director of Rehabilitation, Northeast Center for Special Care, explains, one of the obvious benefits of Infinity Walk over the traditional parallel bars is that the individual can continue to walk without having to stop every few feet as a regular parallel bar. So if you're really messed up or whatever, it has supports and stuff, okay? And they say more about that as opposed to walking in a straight line. You know, they prefer that Infinity Walk pattern shape better and this system to support their patient. You know, liability and stuff, they like this. It's easier when somebody's already, can you imagine having to look out for a patient that's already banged up when you're trying to teach them? You want to avoid as much liability as possible. And I'm looking at this design. I suppose that's why anyway, I could have read it with all saying. The Infinity Walkabout, as continuing, is a collaboration between movement and sensory cognitive processing. The theory behind it is while someone is walking, the therapist challenges them with external stimuli. We can use a board of letters and numbers, which are like a large eye chart. Our resident neighbors have to concentrate on and attend to. This helps people use more areas of their brain than simply walking alone. We also utilize tasks and objects as external stimuli. Gary Brooks, MA, CCC, CBIT, Brain Injury Program Director of the Northeast Center for Special Care, says, attention is almost always impaired following brain injury, and reintegrating attention into walking, talking, and the performance of other tasks is an ongoing challenge in the brain injury rehabilitation. Infinity Walk provides new ways to integrate physical, occupational, and speech language therapies to systematically improve attention capabilities that allows the individual to meet both the physical and cognitive demands of walking and many other tasks. In fact, we expect that we can use this Infinity Walk as a basis for maximizing attention to improve almost any ability. After you finish browsing the Infinity Walk website, please visit Northeast Center for Special Care webpage and use our of Infinity Walkabout, and also learn about their other innovative programs at their state-of-art traumatic brain injury rehabilitation facility. Okay, so that's just a little bit about how shape, okay, shape does affect, can have an effect on your neurology, okay?
You easily understand what is the fastest way to reach your health and fitness.
Hello, I'm Dr. Deborah Sunbeck, and listening to a familiar multitasking while to facilitating the Infinity Walk method. Here's the results after 8 weeks of combined home practice interspersed with 6 therapy sessions. Not only is coordination and balance much improved, But this girl is multitasking by splitting her attention between infinity walking and verbalizing a cognitive task that requires mental concentration.
So what I did was I used science to help me achieve the collaboration of the visions and the information that I was getting as far as why I was spinning my stick and what size stick. Eventually, as I got better, my walking stick turned into a walking pole. My cane turned into a pole. And I was literally led to different spaces online to be able to receive information that allowed me to put together or have more confidence in the inner voices that I was getting and how I put together Qigong, which I was saying is not, it's not a martial arts that I was taught in a school or anything. It's a collaboration of things that I was taught through spirit and collaborated by science that explains why that would even be beneficial to me at all, that I use to explain why I chose that path online. I'm going to tend to my grandson. Excuse me.